Hello and welcome to my match preview for Arsenal versus Bournemouth at Emirates Stadium on Saturday, 9th of September at 3 p.m. A Saturday 3 p.m. There's a novelty. First off, apologies. I said on the last video preview that I would have a new phone and therefore the sound and picture quality might be a bit better for this one. The phone's playing silly buggers at the moment, so I am having to record it on the laptop. So apologies for that. Hopefully, I'll get that sorted as soon as possible. But nevertheless, let's crack on with the match preview. Obviously, for Arsenal, this is all about getting back on the horse after a really poor performance and result against Liverpool at Anfield. And obviously, there's been a lot of negativity since then, particularly with the pretty bizarre end to the transfer market on transfer deadline day as well. So for Arsenal, particularly with Chelsea away on the horizon, needless to say, 3 points is just an absolute must here. I think that Arsenal might go back to a back four. I think most of us never really believed that he was totally convinced by the back three. And in fact, on the first game that he used it against Middlesbrough in April, he said something about it being a bit of a confidence trick for his players. And the problem is confidence tricks, they're like a set of jump cables. They only work for a little while. I think Michael Cox was on the Arsecast today, and he said sometimes a team can experience a change in fortunes when they change their formation, but eventually teams start to, understand the patterns of their play and are better able to expose it. And I think that's probably happened to Arsenal. Nevertheless, I also think that Arsene Wenger's exacerbated that with some pretty odd selection decisions, particularly in the wing-back roles, which I think made everyone quite uncomfortable, not least us watching. So I think he might go back to a back four. I wonder if he'll try and experiment a little bit with a Christmas tree formation. So going 4-3-2-1. I think the advantages of doing this are it keeps Ozil and Alexis in those two number 10 spots rather behind the striker, who hopefully will be Alexandre Lacazette on Saturday. And I think those two are actually really good in those positions because it enables them both to drift about. Alexis likes to go wide and come in. Ozil likes to start central and go wide, and they both have liberty to do that. And I think with a wiry mobile striker like Lacazette, that works really well. And effectively, I just wonder if he'll go for a midfield three, which a lot of top teams are playing at the moment. So to keep Xhaka and Ramsey together, the problem is Xhaka and Ramsey off the ball. That's poison, really. And when the back three first came in, having that extra player at the back kind of helped that. But I think we've come to the stage where that's being exposed. So I wonder if he'll put Francis Coquelin in the team. So basically, he'll be, for want of a better expression, shifting the deck chairs on the Titanic. And instead of having that third centre half, he'll basically just move that player forward and make it Francis Coquelin in the midfield, and perhaps have Coquelin doing what he was doing when he kind of first came back into the team a couple of years ago, and just doing that really basic mop up in front of the defence job, win the ball, give it to either Ramsey or Xhaka, and just sit rather than the kind of pushing forward he was doing in the kind of winter and spring when I think he lost his momentum and his form a little bit. So I wonder if Arsenal might be minded to try and change the formation again and go with that 4-3-2-1, not least because of the type of football that Bournemouth play as well. They quite often play with a midfield three themselves, and because they play fairly progressive passing football. It might be an idea to try and match that up rather than just leaving Ramsey and Xhaka on their own in there. So I'm not sure if he'll definitely do it that way. He might just go back to the 4-2-3-1. But if I were him, I'd give the Christmas tree formation, as it's known in England, a bit of a try. This is it after you've had come off the back of a really bad defeat and there's an international break. Obviously, your momentum is not fantastic, but Arsenal really need to get back on the horse. And I think we might have to just, as supporters, we might have to accept that the performance is not going to be brilliant. This is all about the result. A little like when I think we played Swansea City immediately after we lost 8-2 at Old Trafford, and we won 1-0 with a really fluky goal from Arshavin. And something like that would be the dream ticket really on Saturday. I do think Arsenal are going to win. I don't think it's going to be a classic performance. I think Arsenal might take this 2-1. And that hopefully will start to just repair us a little bit for this season and get us ready for Stamford Bridge. So that's my match preview for Arsenal versus Bournemouth on Saturday. Hope you enjoyed it. And like I say, hopefully I'll be able to sort out the kind of audio-visual issues that I have with this laptop when my phone wants to play ball a little bit. I will be back on Wednesday evening with a preview of Arsenal versus Cologne in the Europa League on Thursday night. Until then, up the Gunners. Cheers.